So, communication skills is nothing but the way in which you are speaking, the way in which you are using your body language, the way in which you are using your facial expression.
matter the most. Pauses are using unnecessary gap fillers.
Okay. So, any day, I would say not too much of either.
First of all, thank you very much for giving me this chance to talk with you. I remember when I mailed you, so I was not expected your reply so early because I have mailed so many people, good people, to have a session with me, and very few of them have replied, and you are the one of them. I was really flabbergasted when I saw your mail, and thank you very much. So, uh,
Most well. Thank you.
yes. Before we start, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and to me as well. Although I know about you because I have seen your sessions with a lot of people, but I want you
Mhm.
to introduce to the people, please.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. So, you already know my name. It's Moupriya. I am from Pune. Right now, I'm staying in Pune, but I was born and raised in Kolkata. And I did my graduation in international hospitality management, post which I started working. I never worked in hotels. I started working in corporates, and I have a total work experience of 11 years in corporates. And for the last 5 years, I have been working as a full time trainer. So, I enjoy every bit of training and interacting with people every day. It's a very, very satisfying thing for me. I am certified from Indian Leadership Academy, and I'm also about to finish a TEFL certification. So that's about my qualification. And in my free time, I love traveling. I love, spending time with my friends and family, and I love cooking. Cooking is my stress buster. So even if at 3 a.m. in the morning I need to cook something, I can do that. It's not tough for me. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And if you have any specific questions, I would love to answer them for you, Shravan.
Definitely. I have written some questions which I'm gonna ask you. But before I ask you the questions, I'm getting nervous. So why do we get nervous whenever we have to face somebody who is expert in their field? So this is the first question that I want to ask you. But before you go for the answer, I want you to tell me something about me as well so that you can know me better. My name is Shravan Madisya and I'm talking to you from Gorakhpur city, Uttar
Mm-hmm.
Pradesh, where I born and brought up. Recently, I have completed my bachelor, that is BSc Mathematics. Apart from these, I have done some certification in spoken English and some personality development course from BIS Gurukul, if you know. And apart
Mm-hmm.
from these, right now I am working on my communication skills. Along with that, I'm working on my YouTube channel as well. So that's a little
Wonderful.
bit introduction of me. Yeah. So
Good.
as I said, as I asked, why do we get nervous? Why it often? I mean, it happens with me many a times. But as
Mm,
soon as the conversation starts, we become relaxed. So why is it
correct.
happening? I mean, whenever we have to face somebody better
Mm,
in the language or anything, please.
correct. It's a very valid question, and it happens to, I think, most of us, from time to time. Now, getting nervous, we need to understand it's a thing which is to do with our mindset entirely. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
reason why we get nervous is because we are fearful of the fact that what is the other person going to think about me. That is number one. First thought in your mind. What if I mess up or I say something wrong? What is it going to do? Right? What are they
Mhm.
going to think about me? Now, the thing that has helped me overcome the nervousness to have any conversation or interaction is to understand or to ask myself the question, what is the worst thing that can happen if this goes wrong? If
Wow.
you think of the worst scenario, what is the worst that can happen? That person
Mhm.
will tell me that, hey, you said this incorrectly, correct it.
Yeah.
So is that really a worse? Or it is a good thing that somebody is correcting me? So most of the difficult situations that we put ourselves into mentally are all because of our
Mhm.
own thoughts. Okay. So
Yeah.
just work on your own perspective. What can happen? What is the worst that can happen? Nobody can, put you into jail, or nobody is going to kill you if you're doing anything. Right.
Yes.
So it's okay. And until and unless you try, or until and unless you make an effort, you will still be at point A. If you want to go from point A to point B, you have to take that step, right?
Yes.
So the main thing that can help you personality wise, or the thing that can help you communication wise, is number one, to start on your own mindset. Start working on your own mindset. That is when the confidence keeps coming in, you know. So, first of all, whenever you are in any situation and you feel that, okay, I don't know what to do, just tell yourself that, what is the worst? Ask yourself, what is the worst? And you will be able to see that, that is making a difference to you.
Yeah, thank you. And it's really nice that you tell me that think about the worst thing that is going to be happening in case you are making a mistake. And I think confidence that you talked about is also really very important when it comes to face somebody on the camera. I remember
Right.
because, and sometimes, do you think it happens although the reasons because we have done, like I have done all my schooling, bachelor, even bachelor, from
Mm-hmm.
all the Hindi medium schools and colleges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we never taught English as a spoken English language, right?
Exactly.
We have studied as a academic part only, right? So
Correct.
do you think it's also a reason? Because I remember all the schooling time we are studying in the vernacular language like our local language is Hindi or something like that. But I
Mm.
remember when I started working on this language, I remember when I was facing camera for the first time, I was unable to speak a single line. And just
Right.
after, yes, after having done more than 50 sessions, if somehow I am able to talk to you is just because of the confidence in the practice. So thank you very much. And as I said, I have a little bit question that I am going to ask you.
Mm.
So
Yes.
we often heard by a lot of people that the communication skills you have to learn, but nobody tells what is communication skills actually and how it play a significant role in spoken English language. So would you like to put some light on it? Like what is
Absolutely.
communication skills?
Absolutely. And that's a very good and a valid question that you have asked, Shravan. So, what happens is people often confuse spoken English or any language with communication. Now, these are two very different things, okay? Now, when I talk about the language, it has got nothing to do with only English. Communication is important no matter what language you are speaking in, right?
Mhm.
So, first of all, understanding the fact that knowing a language is separate, and knowing the right kind of communication skills is completely different, right? Now,
Yeah.
let me give you an example. Um, how many random calls do you get from banks, from credit cards, and this and that throughout the day? 20, 25? All of us get,
Often.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Marketing calls,
Yes.
right? Now,
Yes.
those calls are mostly in Hindi. That is our
Mhm.
language. The ones who are calling, they are experts in Hindi as well,
Yes. Of course.
right? Now,
Mhm.
imagine you are getting a call, you pick it up. For once, you pick that call up, and the other person from the other end is like, "Sir, मैं आपको कॉल कर रही हूँ ICICI कार्ड से." And by this time, you'll be like, "Okay, okay, I don't need anything, just disconnect," or you will just
Yeah.
disconnect, the call,
It looks
right?
like fake.
It looks like fake, right? But
Yes.
people do talk like that, isn't it? Even in
Mhm.
Hindi, even in the language that is their mother tongue and that they are, confident in, correct? But then on the other hand, if somebody calls you and they are like, हेलो, आप श्रवण सर बात कर रहे हैं सर, कैसे हैं आप? What would be the first thing? Will you disconnect, or will you think, who is this person? Why is this person
Yeah.
asking me कैसे हैं आप? Because people don't ask कैसे हैं आप, right?
Absolutely. It brings a smile on the face when somebody asks
It
like
brings
this.
a smile on your face, and it also depends on how the other person is talking, right?
Of course.
So that is the difference when you talk about communication. Like, what is the kind of impression that you are putting on your audience by the way you speak. Now, for example,
Mhm.
I am talking to you right now, right? And I'm discussing about a topic, communication skills and this and that, okay? What if right now the communication that we are having, what if I suddenly change it to this? So, Shravan, communication skill is nothing but the way you are talking to someone and how you express your thoughts and emotions to the other person. And imagine I continue like this for the entire session.
It would
Do
be
you
really
think you will
monotonous.
be able to? Yeah, do you think you will be
No,
able to sit through the session? No, neither will your audience, right? So communication skills is nothing but the way in which you are speaking, the way in which you are using your body language, the way in which you are using your facial expression, the way in which you are pronouncing your words, the way in which you are modulating your voice, what is your pitch, what is your intonation that you are bringing into your speech. All of those things put together makes your communication. And
Of course.
that plays a huge role in what is the outcome that you're going to get out of the communication or conversations that you have with people.
Wow, really great. I have read studies where I read that when we are talking with somebody, no matter in which languages we are discussing or talking, we talk with 70% with our body and just 30% we use the languages. So it's really very true that you said when we are talking in one pitch, in one tone, it becomes monotonous. People feel boring at that very moment when we are talking like that. But when we use our hand gesture, when we are smiling, when we are putting our intonations into speech, that really brings, uh, that really makes us different from others. Like the
Correct.
public is speaking, many people do public speaking, but very few of them make an impression on the people. So it is all because of the art of the communication skills, and that's really very important, as you said. And you said intonations important a lot when we are talking. So I think I have a problem of speaking, like rate of speech. Sometimes
Mm,
I speak very fast. I don't know how to apply intonation in speech. So can you help me out that how can I work on my intonation? Like how can I know that on which word a sentence is? I need to emphasize more when I need to make my speech slow and when it needs to make it high. Like how can I work upon it and how do I identify? Because there are many people who have said that Shravan, you talk well, but you talk very fast. And when you talk very fast, you mess up the thing. So
correct.
please put some light on this as well, like how to work on intonation.
So, intonation, as you rightly said, this is a problem for a lot of people, not just you, Shravan. So, first thing is to understand that your rate of speech plays a very important role in everything else. Okay. If it is too
Mm-hmm.
slow, it's not going to be fruitful for your audience. If it is too fast,
Yeah.
then it is very difficult for your audience. Okay. So, rate of speech, how do you first bring that to moderation? Few things that you can do is uh, start by reading practice, loud reading, and record yourself. Okay. What
Yeah.
reading does is because you have a text in front of you and you have the punctuations and everything, by reading, you can get your rate of speech into a moderate level. Along
Mm-hmm.
with that, you can also start shadowing. Shadowing is what you pick somebody whose way of speaking you like. You take any text or any video from them, play one
Mm-hmm.
line, and repeat exactly how they said it. Okay.
Okay.
If you do that practice for maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day, you will see slowly and steadily you are coming into the zone where you are able to moderate your rate of speech. So, having a moderate rate of speech, number one, is very important for good intonation. Number two, you need to be able to identify or you need to be able to clearly think the things that you are speaking about, what part of it is important. Okay.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
yes, for example, if I am talking about how to work on intonation, right? So, did you see my sentence? If I'm talking about how to work on intonation, so I know we are talking about intonation, the focus should be on intonation,
On the
right?
intonation. Yeah.
Once you realize that, you would automatically be able to emphasize on the important words in your sentence. For example, if you are speaking to your mom, right, and you are asking her to make something that you really like, okay, you want to have
Mm-hmm.
it for Sunday dinner. So you will, if you go and say, Mom, can you make chicken biryani for me for Sunday dinner? That's one way of saying it. The
Mm-hmm.
other way of saying it is, Mom, can you make chicken biryani for me for Sunday dinner?
Wow. Yeah.
What shows your what shows your enthusiasm?
Yes.
Which version
Of
of it
course.
shows your enthusiasm, right? So with that enthusiasm, even if your mom wanted to say a no, with this enthusiasm, she will not be able to deny you, right?
Yes. Of course. Yeah. Completely
So
agree with you, ma'am.
yes, that's why some people are able to get, everything they want, they can get that done because of the way they speak, because of the way they
Mhm.
put forward their thoughts and their needs and their requirements in front of other people, right?
Of course.
Suppose you are negotiating with someone, you know, there are times you would be negotiating with your clients. There's one way to
Mhm.
say that, let's finalize the deal at 10,000. I think that is a fair amount and we can work together. Your client will say, no, no, let us do 8,000. Then you'll say, no, no, 10,000 is the best I can. So that's a tone in which you are speaking. 10,000 is the best I can. Okay. And the other way to say it is you can say, hey, Mr. Client, you are getting a great deal at 10,000. Nobody is going to give you another deal better than this. So I don't think you should waste another minute and just take this for 10,000 because that's the best
Yeah.
deal you will get in the market.
Mhm.
So see how your words need to match with your expressions and the words that you are and the emotions that you are trying to carry, and that will show a major difference and that will set you apart from other people.
Yes. I think it plays a very vital role in sales field. Like the people who are able to talk with you very decently, they are able to convert the audience into a real customer. I have seen
Absolutely.
counselors, they are very professional, like college counselors. The way they talk, the way they enroll in student into college for the admission, they are super professional. I try
Correct.
to fill any query into any colleges and try to talk with them. I don't have to
Mm,
take admission. I just want to do some
of
discussion with them
course.
in English.
Yes.
I try to
Mm,
ask about some fees structure or something like that. And the later I denied that I am not going to take admission due to some reasons I have taken somewhere else. But the way they talk is really
right.
mesmerizing. And
Mm,
and what I think, ma'am, why do we make mistake while speaking very fast? It's also because what I believe, what I noticed in me, because sometimes when we are speaking very fast, we are not giving enough time to ourselves to understand what we have to say next. And sometimes
correct.
we say something that doesn't make any sense. On the other
Correct.
side, it's also very important to speak slowly so that the other persons can also digest your sentences. They also need some
Absolutely.
time to, okay, you have said this, I need to reply this. So people often think in our head that if I will speak very fast, it would going to be hypnotized people. I'm going to win the world battle or something like that. So it happens. And absolutely,
Yes.
I agree with the things you said. So my last question goes to you is storytelling. I think
Mm,
storytelling is very important. I often, whenever I talk to the people, random stranger, when I talk on Skype, so what happens, ma'am? When I ask them something like, which kind of fruits do you like? They said mango. Enough.
mm.
End of the sentence. How can we how can we break the ice? How can we do a conversation if somebody is giving the one liner answer? So I mean that's where the storytelling plays a very important role. So can you put some light on these questions as well, that how storytelling is important in conversational skills? Sometimes I think that articulating a thoughts is very important, no matter how much knowledge we know. I think a lot of persons who are there to learn English language, they know what to speak, but very few of them know how to speak. So, do you think storytelling is really very important? And if yes, then how? How it is?
Okay, wonderful. So you asked a beautiful question, and there are two problem areas in this question that you spoke about. Okay. Number one is let me quickly talk about the fact that you said if I ask someone what is your favorite fruit and they just say, mango, how am I taking that conversation forward? So this is
Yes.
one problem that I recognize with so many people, especially in India. In India, people are very, they're very reserved and they don't want to make conversations a lot of times. Probably because they, don't want to give out a lot of information. Probably they think that, why should I talk so much? And things like that. There are many, different mindsets that work in this. So, one thing that everybody should keep in mind is whenever you are asked a question, you should always consider the situation, the surrounding, the reason why you are communicating, and then answer. There will be times when you are in a very professional setting and you need to get things done like really fast. In those environments, one word answers are great when the other person also does not have time. But when you are connecting with someone for having a conversation, then it is important to give answers in at least complete lines, not just one word,
Yes.
because it is a problem that I
Yes.
face almost every day. Okay. So, this is one thing that people should start working on. However, storytelling is a little different than this. In general, your answers should definitely be one line answers, or at least a little more information should be given than just a simple word. So if somebody asks you what is your favorite fruit, I would probably say, you know I love having fruits. They are very refreshing, and there are too many fruits that I like. I cannot,
Yeah.
it won't be fair for me to pinpoint on one. But still, if I have to, I would say mango is my most favorite. Like, I can have it any day. So that's a way
Wow.
in which you can answer the question, wherein the other person would also have some chance to, take the conversation forward. If you say this, the other
Yes.
person will probably ask you next. So, what are the, yeah, mango is also my favorite fruit. So, what are the other fruits that you like? Right. So,
Yeah.
that ways, the
Yeah.
other person has that scope to take the conversation forward. Now, when it comes to storytelling is a beautiful method in which you can, simplify any situation. Like, I'm talking about boardroom meetings to your classroom teachings, right? If you are including storytelling, then it is very important to remember each and every human being always has an inner child, and children love
Yeah.
stories. So,
Yeah.
every time you want some complex matter to be delivered to your audience, if you use the
Mhm.
storytelling method, you can be sure to have their attention. You can be sure to have their, understanding of the topic. For example, probably there's a board meeting that's going on and somebody has to explain sales figures. So if you just show, slides, okay, these were the numbers for quarter one, these were the numbers for quarter two, these were the numbers for quarter three. By the time half of the meeting is done, most of the board members are already thinking what are they going to have for dinner, and who does they need to call after this? What is the other client thing? They're all thinking their own things in mind, right?
Yeah.
Now, what if you try and put it across in this manner that, hey everyone, this year we started with a bang, and in the first quarter, our most of the sales skyrocketed, and we had this one client, who was so impressed by our sales that they, that they wanted to continue business for the next 3 quarters. What are you doing? You are not just giving bland numbers which people are not going to like. You are
Yes.
telling a story. You are taking them through how your sales has been for the entire year. So that is the art of storytelling, wherein you say things with a lot of expression, with a lot of confidence, and you portray a picture. So, storytelling, why it is called storytelling, is because when you are doing it, somebody who is hearing you should be able to picturize whatever you are saying.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that's
Yeah.
the trick of storytelling. You need to put in a lot of emotion. You need to put in your feelings. You need to express what you are trying to say, and you need to use your facial expressions. You need to have a smile. If you're talking about anything sad, you need to have your facial expressions like that, that, I'm talking about
Yeah.
something that is sad. That's when your audience is going to connect with you.
Yeah. Absolutely perfect. I am able to remember one incident. There was a
Mhm.
cricket World Cup match was going on, final match between the England and New Zealand. So
Mhm.
New Zealand lost that match to the England. So the commentator was using the sentence like ecstasy for England, agony for New Zealand. So
Yes.
I remember the sentence just because of his expressions, the way he said. I was not
Right.
even know at that very moment that what is the meaning of ecstasy and agony. But I am able to know the context of the sentences just because of the
Correct.
way he used, after the match. So really great,
Absolutely.
great answers, ma'am. And this season is going to be $1 million season because we paid a lot of money to and fees to the a lot of platforms where they are not able to provide such problems. They do not address like this the way you are addressing the questions and answer. You are giving the multiple examples. It really shows your experience over the years you have learned and training to the people and students. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
last and final round, I'm going to do some rapid fire. You have to choose only one
Mm-hmm.
out of two questions, right? If I need, I will ask the reasons as well. What is
Sure.
matter the most? Pauses are using unnecessary gap fillers.
Okay. So any day, I would say not too much of either. We all use fillers, we all use pauses, that is fine.
Yeah,
But don't do too much of either of them because then that is going to be difficult for your audience.
yeah, balance is needed. Okay, so accuracy is matter or fluency is matter.
I would say when you are speaking, your fluency takes a little higher notch up than accuracy. If you
Okay,
see, when Americans are speaking, most of their grammar is incorrect. But because they
yeah,
speak fluently, people are still able to understand them. But that does not
yeah,
mean that you can speak incorrect English at all times.
yeah.
A little slip
Mhm.
up here and there is okay. If you are fluent, that can be ignored. But if you
Yeah.
are accurate and you are too slow and you are struggling to speak, then that accuracy is also not going to help you.
Okay, great. So right vocabulary or fancy vocabulary?
Right vocabulary any day. No fancy vocabulary, no ornamental words. People are not sitting with dictionaries to understand you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the last question is, ma'am, I have seen a lot of teachers nowadays are teaching the manipulation techniques like dark psychology, how to hypnotize people, how to mesmerize people. But I think they have forgotten the rule of communication skills. So, what do you think from a coach perspective? Tell me, communication skills or manipulation skills? Which one do you like to choose?
I would choose effective communication skills any day.
Wow, great, great. Okay, so this was my final question, and I think this is the time when we have to wind up the session. It was really a great session, ma'am. I have ever done in my life. I have done with so many people, with so many tutors on different platforms, which I'm not going to take the name. But you are really the way you approach the questions and give the answers is really, really great. And I think I have not got all the things in this session because I need to watch this session again and again because I was busy and involved with the session. So definitely I'm going to watch it again and again. And thank you very much. I'm really very happy for your generosity that you have taken care of my questions and my messages and replied me, joined me on time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shravan. Thank you for having me over. I'm very happy to be a part of your session. And I definitely, would want to comment on the kind of questions you asked. They are very good and they are well researched. So it shows that you are
Yeah,
putting in a lot of hard work and effort for your channel and for your audience, which is really commendable. And definitely in future, I would definitely want to connect with you again. And it would be, an honor to have you on my channel as well. So we will definitely work something out.
definitely, definitely, ma'am. I would love to connect you again. So once
Mhm.
again, thank you very much. Let's meet you again. Okay,
Thank you so
bye.
much. Bye.